Okay, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Mr. Dan. Today's a beautiful sunny day in Florida. Today we're going to cover how I restore cast iron skillets or cast iron pots, whatever you got at the time. Today I've got 4 skillets. I've got them at different places, paid different prices. Most of them are antique except for one. But I'm going to show you these, and then I'm using the oven method, the self-cleaning oven method. Yeah, we'll go through the other ones. I'll talk about those as we go through. But for right now, let's get started. It's going to be like maybe 2 or 3 videos, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to combine them. Don't know. Now this is my 4 skillets. Okay, this one here. And this one here I got online. Now if you can see, the reason I want to redo this one, it looks, oh yeah, that's great, that's nice and shiny, but look at it close, you see? And I believe all that scratching and everything is into the seasoning. There's a lot of seasoning on this pot, you can see it. It's a nice pan if I can get it cleaned up. But at first I'm going to pop it in the oven. And we put it in a self-cleaning mode, let it run for its 3 or 4 hours, whatever. This is another unmarked Wagner. Nice pot, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's blotches in there. I'm going to try to get rid of those. Otherwise, I wouldn't even touch this, really. But I want to see if I can get those out. This here is another unmarked Wagner. I got this one at a small little fleet thing they had down the street from us. Wasn't going to go there, and Penny says, oh, let's go. So we were walking the last 2 tables. This was there, and the guy wanted $25 for it, so it wasn't a bad deal at all. And it's an antique, it's old, but we're going to try to clean that up. Then this one I have a funny story here. I was wanting a 12-inch pot, and that's what this is. And it's heavy as you know what. But anyhow, I wanted a 12-inch one. I think it was one I was going to make the big chocolate chip cookie with my granddaughter, and I didn't have one. Well, this was the size that they said they needed for that recipe. So anyhow, I didn't have one, and I wanted one. Well, I went everywhere, online, Walmart, Target, all the stores, even went to Lodge. Nobody had it in stock. So what I do, I go to eBay. Got a good price on it at eBay, $12.99. But then the shipping, because of the weight, blah, blah, blah. A little more expensive than I wanted. Well, the next day, after I get this pot, the next day, I get a notification in my email that the pan I was looking for is back in stock. I'm like, oh my God. It sure is, you know, depending on where you went, $29.99. So anyway, that's my story about the pots, and I'm sticking to it. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one has what they call flash rusting or surface rust. You see, it's not much. It'll come off eventually. Not eventually. It'll come off. Most of it will come off in the oven. But that occurs when you clean a pot and you let it sit and you don't really dry it, and it gets what they call flash rust. Happens pretty quick too. And this one here, it's got a little bit of rust, but this will come good. This will be a good pot when I get done with it, I'm hoping. This is the one that's still baffling me. It just looks, it almost looks like that rubberized stuff you get, you know, you put in your truck bed liner or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to put these in the oven. That's where we're going to go right now. Anyway, as you can see, I've got all the pots in the oven. This is a seriously light load. I usually have that thing stacked when I do it. But I don't really have another pot back in my... I got a fair amount of pots back there, but none of them really need to be re-seasoned again, not like this. So anyway, let me just tell you a little bit really quick. This is one method of doing it in the oven. You put it on the self-cleaning mode and let it run its cycle. It's 3 or 4 hours. And then let it cool down, and then the next process of the next part of the process starts. Then there's also, you can, if you want to build yourself a electrolysis tank, that's with a battery charger, some powdery stuff that goes in there, like dish powder, some kind of laundry powder, I don't know, water, and some electrodes. And I don't have room for that. And then there's the other thing called a lye tank, and that's mixing lye in water also, and it's in a tank, and you just let that sit. The pot's sitting there for, it can go up to days trying to get the crud off. The electrolysis, that's another one that could almost take days, depending how thick the stuff is. This method here is pretty good. It's safe, and it bakes off the stuff pretty good. And if it doesn't, then you just have to work a little bit to get the rest of it off. But it takes most of everything off. I haven't had a pot yet that I've had a problem with. The only one I'm worried about is that little black shiny one down there, because that's pretty thick. But then I can use some Easy Off Oven spray. The one with the yellow top, I think it is. That one, what you do is you take these outside, you spray them real good, top, bottom, sides, whatever, and stick them in a plastic bag. And just leave them sit there. You know, you check them in 24 hours, because sometimes it leaks right through it, sometimes it takes days. And you can reapply it as you go. But, you know, like there's one guy who was a cowboy, Kent Rollins or something. He's a firm believer not to use anything like that. He says, if you're not going to eat, if you can't eat it, don't clean your pots with it. So, you know, but I haven't tried that yet. I did buy the Easy Off Oven stuff just in case months and months and months and months and months ago, but haven't used it. The next thing I'm going to start trying to use is the grapeseed oil. It has a higher flash point for seasoning up the pan after you get it done. So anyway, those are your little methods. And for right now, we're going to close this up and put it on the self-cleaning mode. And once I do that, everything will be locked in, so you can't do nothing with it. Okay, I got it set for 3 hours, and that's where I'm leaving it. Now it goes to the clean mode. Now the door is going to be locked. See, it won't let you open the door. Okay, guys, so until the next round, I'll be seeing you in about 3 hours. Okay, this is Mr. Dan. We'll wrap for now. Okay, guys, as you can see, cook time is over. And I'm going to take out the one pan that I know you guys will notice the big time difference. We'll take out this one here. Everything's cooled down. But remember this one that was all black and shiny? Had a bunch of grooves in it. There you go, see? Okay, so you can see it has a little bit of rust. So we're going to be cleaning that one first. They're all going to have a little bit of rust. It's called flash rusting. And then this was the other one that I almost didn't do. Nice. You see the color that they really are? It's like a grayish color. Not like the black that it ends up being, see? Now, if I was using electrolysis or something like that, it'd probably still be going trying to get all this stuff off. Here we go. This is the old no-name Lodge. Wagner. It's got a fair amount of rust in it, but we'll get it out. Don't worry about that. Okay, that's what you got. This is the one and only time I'm going to really be aggressive with cleaning them. And this is that big, heavy-duty number 12 Lodge that I was looking for. Okay, so there you have it. All the pans are out. And now we get to the cleaning. First thing, you don't want to forget to turn on your oven about 200, 250. You know, you're not gonna cook anything. You just want to heat up the pans when you get done washing them to make sure they're dry. And then also heating up the pan at about the 250, 200 will open up the pores so you can start putting the seasoning on. Okay, guys, to make this easy on everybody, what I've got here in a spray bottle is a 50-50 solution of vinegar and water. And we're going to lightly spray the inside of the pan. This is going to eat up the rust. We're going to let that sit for, maybe 10-15 minutes. And try to, get where all the rust is and just let it sit. You guys will be amazed of how much rust this thing's going to eat up. Now you can soak this in a tank. Some people they'll have a, when I say a tank, a plastic container. They put the solution in, and then they put the pots in the pans, skillets, whatever. Put them inside there, let it sit for a while. Sometimes, you know, you're not supposed to let it sit too long because that does something to the surface. It can etch your pan. That's why you do a 50-50. But I've done that before and let it sit for 35, 40 minutes, and I didn't have a problem. So, but anyway, so now I use a spray bottle because it's right here next to the sink, and I'm going to show you where we go from there. I don't know if you can see it, but I put one of my dish towels that I had rolled up in the sink. It helps keep the sink a little cleaner. And what I like to do is, regardless of how smooth or how dirty, whatever you think, I always start off with a Brillo pad, okay? And I just go to town with the Brillo pad, trying to get it as clean as possible. Not trying to wear down the surface or nothing like that. I just want to get everything as clean as possible. And you have to kind of try to do this as quick. Like I said, I'm heating up the oven. Because when I get done with this, and you're going to go through some paper towels, but I don't know if you can hear that. Sink's like squeaky clean. And that's what you're looking for. Try to get all the rust off. You may not get it all off, but you don't have to really worry about that, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting some flash rust. It doesn't matter. So what we're going to do with this pan right now is stick this one right in the oven. Once I dry out some of this stuff here. See, all nice and clean, no rust. I'll stick this in the oven, let it dry up a bit. And for whatever reason, just watch yourselves around the, remember, you're working with an oven that's hot. Treat it like it is hot so you don't burn yourself. Okay, I'll go to the next pot. Do this one for you guys, and then I'll give you a little bit of a break. I've just beeped and my oven's all set up to hit the temp already, 250. So now if you want also, when you get done with the Brillo, which I'll sometimes do, is this is an old pot, by the way. What I'm doing here. This is the one that was all nice and dark black, had all the grooves in it from people cutting or whatever they were eating in the pan that they cut right through the seasoning. Can you hear that squeaky, huh? Yeah. Alright. So I gotta get a little bit more here along this edge. But anyway, I like doing this. It's to me, it's a lot of fun. You know, when you're out and about, if you ever go to a flea market or a garage sale or a estate sale, you never know. You can find a nice antique pot. Okay, I call it pot, cast iron. And it's nice you think back and you say, wow, look how, that's an old one, right? And then you sit there somewhere. Sometimes I was like, wonder what they used to cook in that thing. You know, how old is it? It's hard to track sometimes the exact date. I got a couple books on this stuff, and they have circa this and that. They don't give you an exact thing, but they can give you a pretty close approximation. But it's fun. See, like this one has 3 notches, one there, one there, and one there. That's an old pot, and it's they didn't start putting the Made in USA until the 1960s. Prior to that, they didn't do it, but then that's when we started getting what they say was a lot of junky cast iron from overseas. Let's call it Asia. So they started making it to where they wanted to support the United States, and they put a thing that said Made in USA, and that's what you had to do. All right, I'm gonna let these here soak for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna clean them up. And then once they're clean, we'll be back for the seasoning. Okay, so I scrubbed down all the pots. Now we're gonna move this over this way a little bit. Now we're gonna start seasoning them. And what I'm using, Crisco. That thing's been around since I don't know how long, but anyway. The only thing I use with that Crisco is seasoning the pans. I went through one of the cans about yay big, and this one was on sale or something. I forget why I bought the whole big thing. But I got some, I want to try the grapeseed oil. That comes at a higher higher smoke point, and I think it would give it a nice or harder finish. All right, let me get one of the pans out and show you what we got to do. Now be careful, these pots are hot, so make sure you got it. I've got a set of gloves over there that I think they rated at 900 degrees. Okay, just so you can see, nice and clean. All right, then what you do, find your rag that you can use just for this. This is a new one, not new, but I used it once. Okay, so then you just put some oil, or you spread some Crisco in here. Now don't put it on too thick. You're going to take it off anyway, but I'm just saying, don't put it on too thick. But you want to cover, just so you can see it's all nice and shiny. That's what you want. Well, we're still going to take some off here, don't worry. But anyway, top, sides, bottom, inside, outside, doesn't matter, get it all. And once I get to the last pot, I'll turn my oven up to like 400 for the first go round. I usually do everything at 5, but I'm going to do this one at 4. Now the reason this is melting, because don't forget, we've had this in the oven. And you want to try to get between the handle and, in the little eye here. Just be careful, because this sucker is hot. Then I let it sit there for a couple seconds. While I'm doing that, I glance around, make sure I got everything covered. Because, you'll find out if you miss a spot. Yeah, you'll see it. Once they come out of the oven, everything will be nice except for that one spot that you didn't get. Now, the other thing, when these things get really hot, I use my, let me show you, I use my silicone, well, one of them anyway, it doesn't matter. The silicone brushes that I have, because that doesn't melt really, and you can get into little tight nooks and crannies. Let me just get this one. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Okay, and it's a silicone. It's rated for 400 and something degrees. That's probably all the more you're going to use in the beginning. But what you do is you melt a little bit of the Crisco and you dip this in there, and then I can get all the little grooves here. And sometimes, when you have, like on the back here, you got the name, letters or whatever, you just rub it so you get it inside the letters. And here, it's good you can use it, get it inside the little slot, because you want to try to get it everywhere. Okay, so let me do this a little bit more. And then what I do is, after I do this, then I take a paper towel and I kind of like I'm drying it off, because you want to make it like you never put oil on it at all before you put it in the oven to start cooking. I think that about covers that one. Okay, so, and when you put them back in the oven, make sure that they're upside down, like this. Okay, make sure you put it on the rack this way. That's only because if you have too much grease on there, it'll drip to the bottom of the stove kinda, and not puddle up in the pan. Because if it puddles up, it's going to dry that way, and you'll get bumps and blotches. See, like this one's already from being old. You know, the old one. It's got some blotches in there that I'm not gonna worry about. It's the only way to get those out. You have to take like sandpaper, metal wheel, and I don't want to damage this. See, so that's what you do. You just dry it out like you've never been there. And believe it or not, that's a thin layer of oil. That's all you need to put on there. And that will start cooking. You'll see. I'm going to show you one more pan. And then I'm going to do, I'll do the rest of them while you guys are on hiatus, huh? Okay, so. In fact, I think I can do it like this. Get some on there, yeah, see? I'll just show you real quick here. See what I got on by the lettering? That way everything you get, all the nooks and crannies, try to use something that, you know, just don't put a nylon brush in it because you'll melt the bristles. Don't use a metal one. But like this here, and it gets everywhere, see? That's what Mr. Dan does. Okay, so let me get some stuff on my rag here. Some goose grease, as it were, huh? And we're gonna do this one up, right? We're doing this one on the outside. And then what I do with the rag, I put the one I use, like the one that I used to coat the pans with, I fold that up and I store it in a Ziploc bag. You don't have to do nothing special to it. After a while, you'll be changing it out anyway, because it gets old and sticky. It might start to smell, I don't know. Okay. So anyhow, I just get all this nice and greased up. See this this thing here is so old, it's tacky, sticky. But I've been using it forever and a day, I guess. Now this pan is kind of weird in a way, because remember yesterday how I showed you guys all the little grooves and looked like somebody cut it with a knife, and then when you clean it out, it's smooth as a baby's bottom until you do this. Now see, I don't know if you can really see it that good, but see how it's got grooves in it. Little ones. Not bad. It doesn't make it a bad pot. But it's just, I was a little shocked just now to see that, because I thought, well, we got all that stuff out of there. Should be good to go, right? So what I'm doing here is just getting out the excess oil, like I said. And you don't want to try to get no lint in there. That's what I'm trying to get out now from the paper towel. That's why you should try to use a lint-free cloth. And a lot of times, the way some of these pots are coming nowadays, they're all roughed up. That's what Lodge does to their pans to get them. Lodge does that to their pans so that when they season them at the factory, the seasoning takes to their pans. So I'm going to go over this one more time. So give you guys a break when I'll show you what we're doing next. Okay guys, you can see they're all greased up and ready to go. See how they got a nice little sheen to them? Well, that's going to disappear once this thing starts cooking. I cranked it up to 425. Once it hits the temperature, then I'm going to time it for 1 hour. So we'll be back. I'm hoping you guys can see this. You see this wisping smoke? That's what you want. It's what that's doing is the Crisco has hit its smoke point. The metal's hot enough. So that there should start to be polymerizing. It's going to be making the coating on the pan. Hopefully it'll make it non-stick. We have to do this at least 2 more times. Okay, but I just wanted to show you, if you decide to do this, you get some smoke like this, that's what you're looking for. So I turned on the range hood there. But yeah, see that smoke? That's all that grease I put on there. And you see I took most of it back off. But this is what you got. All right, we'll be back. Okay, guys, this is after the first bake. And as you can see, it turned out real nice. I'm going to do this 2 more times. In other words, put some more seasoning on, back in the oven 2 more times. I used to do 6 times. I might again do this, but right now, you know, you guys can see the color difference. I mean, when we put them in, they had a little tinge of brown, or they were really gray, but in certain spots because of the flash rusting. But as you can see, it's just one, and I'll show you the end result when we get done. So until then, I'll give you guys a break, and when we're done, when I finish seasoning these 2 more times, I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay guys, hot out of the oven. There they are. They're looking good too. It's only three seasoning coats, and just look at the difference, huh? This is the big 12-inch puppy here. It's got a little divot right there, but it's going to be a nice cooker. Be good for a pizza or another chocolate chip cookie for my granddaughter. Who knows? I'll find something to cook in there. And here's the unmarked Wagner. Look at that. That is beautiful after 3 coats. So there you have it. I like doing this kind of stuff. And if you guys get a chance, you know, you're out going to a flea market or a thrift store or something like that, you might come across a decent pot for a couple of bucks. Maybe not too bad. I'm not going to say don't get a Chinese one, because they can make good cookies too. I have a couple Asian pots back there. Years ago, they were worried about different things with them, but I've cooked in a couple of them, so I don't have a problem. But anyway, this was Basic Seasoning 101. So tomorrow, I'll probably make another video with one of these pots, probably this one here, and I'll make you guys an egg in it just to show you how it works. But until then, this is Mr. Dan saying stay safe. Don't forget to cover up, protect yourself as well as others. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Don't talk with your mouth full, or grab a hot pot without a handle, a mitt. And give us a like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't yet. When you do, a little notification bell will pop down. You hit that, that'll notify you each time that we get another video. And also, there's a little arrow down below the video. You hit that, drop down box will come down, and it'll give you a description of what we did today, plus a link to my Cook with Mr. Dan Facebook page, my daughter's artwork page, and that's it. So stay hungry. You can cook in one of these pans, and when you are, come back and we'll give you another recipe. This is Mr. Dan saying I've had enough fun for one day.